and a good Sunday to everybody. Are you ready for St. Patrick's Day? It's the Green Beer Day. I don't know how that is celebrated in other areas, but here there's a lot of green beer, which I never liked. I think they just put food coloring in it and they serve you the crappiest beer they have on tap. But anyway, let's talk about Shamrock, because number one, we need to talk a little bit about Shamrock, and we will talk while I am doing certain mixes. I will show you three different, bonsoir Brigitte. I will show you three different kinds, and while I am preparing the mixes, I will tell you what the whole thing is about, and I might have to excuse myself for a minute during the live because I'm expecting some Amazon delivery, including my new pasta machine. Yay. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Lawrence. And I might have to go to answer the door and bring the packages in. Let me say it real quick in French. Donc, je vais vous montrer trois différentes versions parce qu'il y a une controversie quand il s'agit du Shamrock, c'est-à-dire qu'est-ce que c'est vraiment le Shamrock. Et je vais parler de ça pendant que je fais mes mix. So, what we actually need is, of course, this is Premo. Now, again, I know that Cernit is the one that's used the most in Europe, but unfortunately, I don't have Cernit. And again, I have to tell you that I have Cernit in my Amazon wish list. So if you ever want me to do some tutorials with Cernit, please, if you can, buy it for me, because right now I don't have enough budget for Cernit as well. But these are the color recipes for Premo. Hi, Deborah. Bonsoir, Cécile. And I have green, I have jungle, I have alizarin crimson, and then I have some white, and I might have to get some more white. Now, for my first mix, for one, I'm going to make a normal green, because the camera doesn't show it exactly, but the green of Premo is very green. I mean, it's not really even the Irish green anymore. So I am going to first make a green mix. And for this, I'm going to take 3 squares of green, so I can have enough. I could do it with just 2 squares, but as I intend to do 3 little canes, I just want to make sure that I have enough. So remember, the clay is on the thickest setting, and I'm using the same cutter. Hi Brenda. Hi Jules. Donc, je vais premièrement faire mes mix parce que le vert de Premo est très, très, très vert. La caméra ne montre pas, mais c'est aveuglant vert. Et je dois faire un vert qui est plus proche de la réalité. Donc, je prends 3 carrés. C'est toujours le plus épais sur la machine à pâte et le même en porte-pièce. Hi, Soile. So 3 squares of green and then 1.5 squares of jungle. And I need to get more. And I know it seems horrible that I have to get up with this new table, but believe me, it is not. It's actually more convenient because the way that I was doing it before, just lounging to use the pasta machine, was actually hurting my shoulder and back muscles. So 1.5 squares of jungle, and this will be the green mix, and with this we will make the other. Bonsoir Sophie. Hello Tina. We will make the other mixes, and while I'm doing that, I'm cranking the machine. I'll tell you about the whole Shamrock thing. Donc, je vais faire le mélange de verre pour obtenir un verre qui est plus réel. Et pendant que je fais ça, je vais vous dire quelques mots sur le Shamrock. So, there's even in Ireland, there's a huge controversy on what exactly is Shamrock. Is it a clover or is it an oxalis? If you go to listen to the more purist Irish tradition people, the shamrock is always a clover. It's never an oxalis. There are several differences between the clover and the oxalis, even if they look very much alike. But there are two main differences. One, that the clover, as it is, has 3 leaves, while the oxalis has 4. And of course, you can get a 4-leaf clover, but that is a mutation and it is very rare. Both the clover and the oxalis can have the heart-shaped. Oxalis always has the heart-shaped. The clover might have a more rounded leaf. And the other main difference is their flower. The clover flower is like a little bunch of cubes, if you want, while the oxalis flower looks kind of like a plumeria, miniature plumeria. But the thing is that the Irish purists consider the shamrock the 3-leaf clover, while all over the world, especially to signify St. Patrick's Day, the 4-leaf clover and implicitly the oxalis are used more than the 3-leaf clover. So today I will show you how to do a regular 3-leaf clover, and then also how to do 2 varieties. One would be a 3-leaf clover and the other one will be what's called an iron cross shamrock oxalis. Hi, Carol. Hi, Sabitha. And I hope I didn't miss anybody. So this thing is I will show you how to make the canes from which you can cut slices to make the leaves that you can then apply on brooches, on earrings, on pins, on whatever you want to make. For the first one will be the so-called traditional purist Irish shamrock. And it involves just the plain green, but it has a little bit of a whitish silverish green right on the spine of the leaf. And while I'm doing the mix and you watch the mix, I'm going to say what I said real quick in French. Donc, il y a une controversie sur ce que ça veut dire le shamrock et ce que c'est pas un shamrock. Et les Irlandais les plus puristes considèrent le trefle à 3 feuilles le Shamrock réel. C'est aussi en connexion avec le Saint Patrick et représentant la Trinité du Père, du Fils et de l'Esprit, ou je ne sais pas comment on dit en français. Mais dans les dernières décades, on associe plus le Saint Patrick, la journée du Saint Patrick avec le oxalis, avec le trefle à 4 feuilles qui est considéré porte-bonheur, mais qui est surtout un oxalis, pas un vrai trefle. Dobry večer, Irina. Hi, Shirley. Hi, Carrie. Donc, je vais vous montrer comment faire un shamrock original, ensuite un autre type de shamrock, et ensuite un oxalis qui s'appelle la croix de fer, qui sont tous les 3 associés avec la journée de Saint Patrick. Je vais vous faire des cannes que vous ensuite pouvez trancher et appliquer sur des broches, sur des boucles d'oreilles ou n'importe quoi. So, Saint-Esprit, c'est ça. Merci Brigitte. So I am going to make on one of them a lighter green, and on one of them a lighter green, but not as light as the other one. And then on this one, I'm going to make practically a burgundy green, and I'm going to mix half an alizarin crimson, and we'll see if I need more. Because honestly, I've never done this mix before, so I'll have to see how it works. Okay. Spasiba, Irina. So let me do these mixes real quick. And how has everybody been doing? I'm waiting for some bad weather here, and I was a little bit taken aback earlier because I kept hearing the crowds. We are not supposed to have any kind of cold spills, but I kept hearing the crowds outside talking about cold. Because you know how crowds crow in a certain way when cold weather is coming. And we'll see if I need more white for this one. Might actually use a little bit of pearl, because the white that makes the designs and I shouldn't have mixed all of it. Never mind, I'll make another mix. The white that makes the designs has a silvery tint. It's not just a plain lighter green. It does have a silvery tint. And that's why I said I might have to mix a little bit of pearl in it. And not to say that it's got pearlescence or anything, but you know how sometimes plants look like they might have pearlescence because they have those tiny little hairs. Let's get this. Let's see if I need more alizarin crimson. Because the color is not pure alizarin crimson, but it's got a lot of burgundy color in it. That's still somehow still greenish. Yeah, it needs more. Let me get another half. Anybody in the Northeast got affected by the big storm there? Because I thought it was horrible what I was seeing in the news. Oh, yes, they do. And not just for rose petals, for lilies, I noticed. Sometimes for hyacinths. Practically any flower that has a little bit of mother of pearl look to it. Okay, let me grab some more jungle. Because I made the boo-boo and I mixed all the clay. I didn't keep any of the regular green that I had just made. Okay, anybody I missed? No. But yeah, I turned off the light because I thought that it looks much better like this. Better than turning the settings on the camera as to less brightness and getting all that glare. I sure hope to get in my budget next month that Makins cutter board, because that would make things so much easier without all the glare I get from the whiteboard. Oh yeah, that is a beautiful one, yes. I'm sure it did. Oh, by the way, Sole, how did your winter storm go? Because I know you were under threat. Yeah, I don't know. She keeps promising she's going to send me pictures and she never does. You know? Okay, so half and one. And 3 of green. I'm sorry I messed up. It happens sometimes. Yeah, the only issue is that I did turn down the light, but then I don't see very well. The camera has a low light equalizer. Yes, soil is supposed to have a really nasty snowstorm coming with a lot of snow and a lot of wind and a lot of cold. Worse than what we had here. Even if, honestly, this past winter, it was the second time that Oklahoma was colder than the North Pole, which was no, Shirley, I personally, what I like the most, and I'm actually waiting because I asked at Lowe's and they said they might be bringing. I find that the best thing to work polymer clay on is a tile of marble. But when I went and I looked, they only had speckled and colorful, and they said they will be bringing some black one. So it's gonna be either the makings, and the marble is a little bit cheaper than the mats you can buy. It's not very cheap either. I mean, it's around $10 a tile, but they are between a foot and a foot and a half square. And they are pretty much the best thing to work on because they are perfectly polished. Yeah, okay. We will. Yeah, we know how that goes, Carrie. Okay, do I have enough? Yes, I do have enough difference. Okay, so I'm going to separate this in 3 again to have for the, and one of them can be a little bit smaller because I'm going to have a lot of that burgundy mix going in. Now, as I said on one of them, on the original one, the silvery white goes right on the spine of the leaf. So what I will be doing in all three cases, I'm going to do an ICAT, a modified ICAT. If you've ever watched my tutorial on the modified ICAT on how to obtain it faster and without so much fuss, then you know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to use, I'm not going to use all this green, even if I made a whole bunch of green, but I am going to use about this much. And I will get it through the pasta machine exactly like this. And then I will narrow it down. Actually, even before getting it through the pasta machine, I will narrow it down because we don't need it this wide. We don't make a humongous shamrock leaf. And I'm going to get it through the pasta machine on the thinnest setting. Okay. And now I'm going to do the ICAT with it. So I'm going to cut it. And try to be kind of close, but don't go overboard perfectly aligned, because this is what's going to create your actual ICAT effect. Tell me if you think you need me to bring the camera lower. Donc, je vais faire un ICAT can pour réaliser l'effet que les feuilles ont, parce que le premier sera le trefle avec, qui est le plus commun appelé le Shamrock, mais il a un dessin sur le centre de la feuille. Yeah, that's a good one too. Or sometimes you can find at Target, they are granite, that's polished granite. But again, they are around 30 bucks. So only if you get them on clearance, that would work. Then I'm going to cut it again. And again, stack it. And you see how there's an ICAT starting to form here. But I'm going to narrow it down a little bit so I can lengthen it again. And remember, always when you lengthen, turn on both sides, because it's going, otherwise the layer that's on top is going to get wider than the one that's on the bottom. Hello, Deborah. Yeah, I was like, why is everybody saying hello, Deborah? Because Deborah was here from the start, but it's another Deborah. So again, narrow it and lengthen it. like this is good. And don't worry about this not being very well aligned, because this is exactly how it is in the leaf itself. When the live is over, I will post links to photos of all the 3 kinds that I am going to show you. And I'll do one more stacking. Yeah, whenever you feel that you cannot see very well what I'm doing, you need to tell me. And the last stacking. And now I'm going to start shaping it a little bit. And reducing. So you need to shape it like half a heart. Or teardrop if you want. But with this eye cat on one side of the tear. And again, we are not going to wrap it. You can wrap it only if you want to make a full cane and cut slices out of it to cover something. But what I'm making the cane for creating an actual leaf that can be put on a piece of jewelry. Remember, sometimes you have to go in and pull because the sides have the tendency to stay behind. And I'm going to reduce it in tear shape because it's much easier to reduce than as heart. You can imagine that. Bonsoir, Roman. Donc, réduisez en forme de larme parce que c'est beaucoup plus difficile de réduire en forme de cœur. Vous pouvez l'entourer de translucent seulement, translucide seulement si vous voulez faire une complète canne. Mais ce que je fais maintenant, je fais une canne qui vous permettra de couper des tranches et former les feuilles du trefle. Donc, j'ai besoin d'être beaucoup plus petite que ceci. But keep in mind that this is the inside of the leaf. So the one with the eye cat is the actual inside of the leaf. So when you think about your teardrop, it's going to have to be a little bit more slanted on one side than on the other. Okay, and now we can create a flower. Now, of course, if you want it smaller than this, you can go smaller than this. but we shall create a leaf. And keep these because with these you can easily make the stem. And all I'm going to do is to cut it in two. And then put the two halves together. And there we go, one shamrock leaf. And make sure that it's well. It's up to you, Lisa, how small you want the leaves to be. I mean, this will make a shamrock about this big. So if you want to make a brooch that's smaller, of course, you reduce it more before putting the halves together to shape the full leaf. But I'm making this a little bit larger. So this will be the first type of shamrock. Now let's do the second type. And generally on the second type, this silvery thing is a little bit darker than this. Only on this type it's so light. On the second time it can be darker, or it can have, actually it can be made out of two lines, one darker and one lighter. Au revoir, Brigitte. So let's get the second one, and I'm going to actually make it shorter to start with. But on this one, we are going to place the lighter side right in the middle. So I'm going to put them almost touching, not really touching, but to leave about 1 millimeter of this to cover the sides. And then we do the same thing, we get it through the pasta machine on the thinnest setting. And this will be a little bit more tricky to heart shape because this iCat part is a little curved. So again, I'm going to cut it, stack it, and then narrow it a bit. And as I said, try to keep the lines, but not perfectly, because if you keep that perfectly, obviously you won't get the iCat effect. And see, I can take this and actually put it in the middle here. It saves clay. And we do the same thing, we narrow it and lengthen it. Ça serait bien, Cécile, parce que tu sais que parfois j'oublie. Je deviens tout engrossé dans ce que je fais. Essentially, it's not a very difficult thing to do, but it's fun because you make your brooches or pins or whatever look exactly like a shamrock. And of course, when I'll put them together, I'll show you how to make a little bit of veining as well. Oh, by the way, today you will not get the four-sided pendant. Today you will get a charms video tutorial because I was talking to my friend Deborah yesterday, and she has some health issues and her hands are kind of tired and don't work very well, and she's getting ready some presents for her granddaughters. And I said, you know what, I'm sending you a package right now, so why don't I make something too? And asked her what her granddaughters like, and one of them likes Pusheen and the other one likes Unitato. And of course I had to go and check what the heck was a Unitato. And a Unitato is a mix between a potato and a unicorn, in case you didn't know. And the even funniest part was that I didn't know that you can have a potato, which is the mix between a cat and a potato. And then if you mix a potato with a unitato, you get a unipotato. Kids these days, they come up with all kinds of stuff. So I went ahead and I made the Pusheen mini charm and the Unitato mini charm. And I thought, if I'm going to make these, and a lot of you have asked me to make charms, and I actually made them. But I'm not going to varnish them because I'm afraid the varnish might not fully cure and they might get damaged. So I'll let you, Deborah, make them. So this is Pusheen. It's a full Pusheen charm. And this is a Unitato. It's got a little unicorn horn. I don't know if the camera will want to focus. Got a unicorn horn and his little tongue out. Yeah, this is Pusheen up close and personal. So yeah. But I started editing. I still have a little bit to edit, so that's what you'll get today. I hope you like it. And I know that a lot of the ladies who follow me have grandkids and stuff, so I thought, well, maybe they won't make them this small, but they'll be able to make for their grandchildren and some other people for their kids, and it should be fun, even if I normally don't make charms. And see how we get another iCat formation. Oui, le catato, c'est moitié chat, moitié patate. Le unitato, c'est moitié unicorne, moitié patate. Et ensuite, si tu mélanges un catato avec un unitato, tu obtiens un unicateto. J'ai dit que les enfants, ces jours, ils inventent tellement de choses. Mais apparemment, c'est beaucoup pas la mode parmi les enfants. Donc, yeah, potato. Well, Google it and you'll see what I'm talking about. I know, it's hilarious. It sounds hilarious, but that's what it is. And the last stacking. And we go again for the teardrop shape. Et on va faire encore une larme. Mais cette fois, on va former un peu différemment. So when we form the teardrop, it's going to be shaped a little bit differently because we need to curve this eye-cat-like formation. Oh, I'm first getting it a little bit taller. So hold here, right in the middle with your middle finger underneath and your thumb on top. Then get from here and then gently start pulling. And you need to pull a little bit on the tops too. And a bit of pinching. Then start rounding. And then we're gonna pull again. Because we want to bring these sides down a bit. I know there are ways to do it differently, but you know, I'm not going to mess up with all kinds of stacking and cutting and all that when you can do it like this very easily. So make sure that's the whole idea. Make sure that you bring the whole line down. That's why you might have to pull on the edges of the sides. And then we simply pinch the end. And then push it in a little bit. Just remember to keep this area round. Now, the ones of you who have clover in your lawn, you probably saw this design because it's more common. This one is not really common in the US, but this one is fairly common. And see how when I'm reducing, I keep pushing this side with the line down so it won't get straight again. And I want it just a little bit smaller. And we are good. I don't really have any loss here to cut, so maybe this side. So we cut it in half. And we put the halves together. So see, this is the shape that I think you have seen in your lawn a lot. Oui, je crois que c'est le plus courant de tous les trèfles. Bon. So this is our second. Let me try and get it to focus. This is our second one. And now let's make the third one. The third one can have actually a combination. Most of it, it has a the burgundy part at the very base, pretty much like you have this with this part burgundy. Sometimes it has this line, sometimes it doesn't. the one that I have in my garden is the one that does have this line. So I think that it's more, and that's why it's so much more preferred. So as I said, it's the Iron Cross oxalis because it's more decorative. Oh yes, you can do it in a lot of ways. So let's actually do it like the one that's the most decorative of all. So I'm going to get a stripe of green. Then I'm going to get a stripe of burgundy green. And then I'm going to get a stripe of that lighter green and white mix. Because I'm trying to get them all at the same thickness. And again, we put the stripe of lighter green to slightly cover the edges between these other two colors. And it goes, it's the same, pretty much the same work as this one. It goes through the pasta machine on the thinnest setting. And then we cut it. And we stack it. Trying to stack the line on line. Let me cut this extra here. And then we pretty much start lengthening and narrowing, the same as with the other one. And again, on both sides, we want to do that. And this one, you might have seen it in some gardens or in a botanical garden. J'ai dit que la croix de fer oxalis, parfois, n'a pas tout le temps ça. Il y a des variations qui n'ont pas le vert plus clair. C'est seulement le Bourgogne et le vert régulier. And I think that I had a cat kiss on my eyeglasses. And there we go. I couldn't see why I was seeing a little bit foggy. You people who have pets know how that is, and who wear eyeglasses. They come to kiss you and they kiss your eyeglasses, and then you wonder why you cannot see well. Bonsoir, Karine. Yes, they are very good. And again, stacking. And I'll have to check and see if I need any more cutting and stacking. I might be done. I have an extra here. And again, see how I'm heightening it, and I need it a little bit narrower. And we are going to do the trick again. Now remember, the burgundy is towards the stem. And this is the round of the leaf. So the same thing, holding from below and from above, gently start pulling. And the flower of this iron cross is very pretty. It's not a plain pink like the other shamrocks. Is more coral pink if you want. It's really, really pretty. And now we are going to pinch the base and make sure that, watch this line, make sure that it is pulled all the way. And we pinch the end, and then we start reducing. Don't let the end get too wide, because it will have the tendency to do that. And again, keep these edges here round. Don't triangularize them. And the way you don't triangularize is when you press, you hold here. You don't press like this. You hold here. But again, against the tile, like I showed you in my 101 about canes, if you hold it against the tile when you're pressing, then you'll have very little clay loss. And I want it a little bit smaller than this. And there you go. Here I lost a little bit more clay. And as before, we cut it in two, and we put together the halves. And I'm sorry it's not spring yet, because I could show you the the real thing in my garden. Yeah, it looks exactly like this. And make sure that you get the two halves to be very well stuck together. Oui, j'ai dit que en printemps, je vais vous montrer celui que j'ai dans le jardin, qui est exactement comme ça. Je vais peut-être mettre une, si vous allez après le live sur mon Facebook, je vais mettre une photo du jardin avec le shamrock que j'ai dans mon jardin. Et avec la fleur, parce que j'ai aussi des photos avec le shamrock en bloom. So, let's see. Let's actually make a shamrock. And we're going to make a 3-leafed one. Let's say that we will get a piece of something to put it on, because if you're going to put it on a brooch, you'll have the base of the brooch, but we need a piece of clay to stick the leaves together. And I'm going to get my cane slicer. And this is a little bit too thick. If I would cut this in 3, it would be a little bit too thick. I'm going to try and cut straight, even if I cannot really look from above. There you go. I was able to. Okay, so what you do, you get your whatever sculpting thing you use. I'm going to get one of these. That's from that Sculpey thing. Oui, donc quand vous allez faire le bijou, vous allez avoir la broche ou la boucle dorée ou quelque chose. Et bien sûr, maintenant, je l'ai fait grand pour que vous voyez, vous pouvez voir comment on les fait, mais vous, normalement, vous allez pour quelque chose qui serait comme ça, pas si grand que ça. Donc, so normally I made this much bigger than I would normally make it, because you need to see how it's done. I would, if I would make myself something, and I will, obviously, for some friends, you go much smaller. You go about this size, not this big size, but about the size this part is. Then you go and you enhance the vein right in the middle, because usually the clover has a fairly strong spine. And the other ones you can put just a few veins here, but not a lot. But the middle vein, you need to enhance it really well. And what I normally do, I'll show you what I normally do to make them sit properly. I just use pieces of paper. And if you do like printing paper, not the wax paper, and if you do like this on the printing paper, and I should probably go get a piece of printing paper to show you. If you do like this on the printing paper, it's going to curve. And when it curves, it's going to do this. And when it does, I don't know if you can see, when it does this, then you gently, very gently, place it under your leaf. And that's going to help when you bake. It's going to hold your leaf properly to have a natural shape. Let me see if I can get the camera to see exactly what I'm doing here. See, if you put the curved paper under here, then you'll have the paper holding the leaf in a normal, more natural position. And you can actually place the paper before you place the leaf. So again, on normal printing paper, when you do this, let me go grab a little piece of paper. Okay, so on regular paper, see how I press with the, oops, I pressed and I broke it. Because it's not printing paper. It's just notebook paper. Hold on. Okay, printing paper this time. It will not break. Okay, so on the printing paper, when you do this on it, so kind of grab it between your middle finger and your thumb and press with your thumb's nail. When you do this, it's going to start curving. See, not very curved, just a little bit, but that's exactly what you need, just a little bit of curve. And it's going to sit curved when you arrange it. So you place it here before you even place your leaf. So gently enhance the middle vein. And then place the leaf. Oh. And the same for the third one. Because otherwise, unless you go very thick on the leaves, they will flop. And if you want to go thin on the leaves, then you need to do this. If you go thicker on the leaves, then yeah, they will stand up straight. But donc vous devez faire ça si vous voulez faire votre feuille très mince, très naturelle. Si vous les faites épaisses, vous n'avez pas de souci avec ça, parce qu'ils ne vont pas s'évanouir. Mais quand ils sont si fragiles, ben, c'est pas fragile, mais c'est très mince, ils vont s'évanouir. And they are going to flop. How do you actually try to say faint? C'est comme une dame qui voit un souris. So this is pretty much, and obviously when I work on this, I put it first on a wax paper. And that way I can take the whole thing and just put it like this in the oven. Just put these together, getting together perfectly. And then all you need to do, remember I told you, don't throw these away. You can actually just make a little stem out of them. The ends of the cane. And you just place your stem. Now, this is if you want to go with the, and you first actually place the stem and then you place the leaves, the three parts of the leaf. If you want to go with the lucky 4-leaf, of course, you don't place a stem and you just place the 4th leaf here. And that is pretty much all that is to it. Donc, si vous voulez faire un trefle avec 3 feuilles, vous le mettez comme ça, mais vous mettez premièrement le petit bout ici. Si vous le faites un porte-bonheur, alors vous mettez une 4e feuille ici. Mais comme j'ai dit, moi, je vous conseille de le faire un peu plus petit que ça, parce que moi, je l'ai fait très, très, très gros. Il devrait être comme ça. Si vous voulez le faire très gros pour célébrer le Saint-Patrick, bien sûr, mais prenez soin que la feuille, spécialement si vous la faites pas très épaisse, prenez soin que la feuille a au moins un tiers avec du support en dessous. So, if you want to make it big, if you want to make it small, it doesn't really matter. But especially if you make a thin leaf, make sure that the leaves are at least for the first 1/3, they have a backing, they have a support. underneath. Otherwise, you risk them breaking. And another thing that I always said, and please kind of heed it, because it's quite important. Generally speaking, it is considered that this kind of construction would be very frail and it would be prone to the leaves coming off. What I always do and what I always advise, I didn't do it in this case because this is not my final thing and I don't want to waste this, so I'm going to make some pins for my friends. But what I always advise, even when you're talking about raw on raw, still use bake and bond, because the moment you use that and let it sit a little bit before putting it in the oven, and the moment you use that, it's going to be really, really, really sturdy. And you can make, you know, earrings, you can make whatever you want when you go out for your St. Patrick's Day celebration. And exactly with the type of shamrock that you want, if you want a 4-leaf, if you want a 3-leaf, pure Irish clover, but this is how you make it. Donc, encore une fois, comme j'ai dit plusieurs fois, normalement, on considère une concoction comme ça très fragile et en péril que les petites feuilles se détachent. Mais si vous prenez garde et vous mettez, même s'il y a de la pâte pas cuite, good night, Cécile. Même si la pâte n'est pas cuite et vous la mettez sur de la pâte pas cuite, quand même, mettez du bacon bond entre eux. Parce que ça vous fera une connexion beaucoup plus sécure et très, très, très forte. Et laissez-la attendre pour quelques minutes avant de la mettre au four, parce que ça va faire le bacon bond un peu plus gros. Plus visqueux, et ça va faire une liaison encore plus forte. So this was the whole shamrock thing, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're gonna go ahead and make a whole bunch of pins and brooches and stuff for your friends for St. Patrick's Day, because I'm sure that they will like it and they'll probably keep it for the next year. Because these are a lot of fun to make. I used to make them a lot of times for friends and for whenever I was still healthy enough to go out and party for St. Patrick's Day. And that's why I know I hate the green beer. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it and look forward for the little guys that you'll see later today. And I hope you'll enjoy making them for your children, grandchildren, nephews, whatever. But I thought it was fun, especially the unitato thing just cracked me up completely. I had to make a unitato. And I was thinking about making a Pusheen for a while. Okay. Oh, really? Uh-huh. Yeah, I will have to say, but you know what? I don't think it's going to affect much, Lawrence, because the YouTube automatically corrects the timing. So it's going to tell people who are on different time zones, it's going to still give them the correct timing, because when I enter the time, I'm already registered as being Central Daylight. So it's going to automatically adjust. Lawrence a demandé qu'est-ce qu'il y aura parce que le dimanche prochain, on aura le changement d'heure pour l'heure d'été. J'ai dit que ça ne devrait pas faire aucun de problème, parce que YouTube automatiquement fait les corrections. Donc, vous ne devez pas avoir de problème. Yeah, I did not do unitatoes. Okay. Then I guess I'll see you next Sunday. And don't forget that now you can go on my website and you have that under updates there. You have suggestions And once you are a registered member and you log in, otherwise you cannot see that link, only after you log in. And you can go and in the comments, you can put your suggestions on what you would like to see on these lives. Okay, just make sure that it's something that usually wouldn't take more than an hour and a half, because remember, that's pretty much the timeline when I'm starting to hurt. Okay, thank you so much for being here with me, and I hope you enjoyed your shamrock, and you will enjoy making it for your friends and family. Have a wonderful Sunday, what's left of it. Goodbye.